Hi, my name's Sue Siedentop, and I am one of the 50-50 weight loss participants for the Journal, and you are watching the News at Noon.
It's high noon on March 2, 2010, and a Tuesday edition of the Daily Journal is upon the streets, but Mike Frey and Caleb Benoit are not in the Journal newsroom. We're someplace else. Caleb, why is that?
Well, we are here at Herscher High School, the Herscher varsity boys basketball team having a fine season. They continue their postseason run tonight. They play the top-ranked team in the state, Hales Franciscan, at Central High School. So we'll have more about that in a few minutes. But first, Mike, tell us something else exciting that's in the paper today. Why should we pick up the Daily Journal?
Well, one thing that's got me excited is there's a sure sign of spring out there, Caleb. The cooling lakes there at Braidwood, the Braidwood Lake, they don't next to the nuclear plant, open for the fishing season.
Okay.
And drew quite a crowd yesterday. You know, some people look forward to baseball being a sign of spring. Fishing is just as much a sign of spring around here. So you can read about that.
Absolutely. Well, Sean Loftus is our weather guy. He's going to tell us what the weather will be like for the next couple days for those fishermen. Sean, take it away.
Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Sean Loftus, videographer and weather guy for the Daily Journal, and I'm here to give you your AccuWeather forecast for the next 3 days. It's looking like it's going to be a little bit more of the same that we've been having for about the last week, so let's get into it. Today we're looking at a high of about 38 degrees with a low of 26. It's going to be mostly cloudy with a chance of flurries throughout the midday and late afternoon, and then it's going to get cloudy and cold later tonight. That'll take us into Wednesday with a high of 38 and a low of 23. We're going to have intervals of clouds and sunshine throughout most of that day, clearing up for the most part in the late afternoon and evening for Wednesday night, and then that will take us into Thursday morning, and we will be seeing a high of about 39 degrees with a low of 22. We're going to have sunshine, patchy clouds throughout most of the day, and then it'll clear up, but then clouds will start to come in from the northeast a little bit later in that evening. So again, pretty even keel throughout most of the next 3 days, and it's going to be very cold, so be sure to bundle up. But this is Sean Loftus, and we'll kick it back to Mike and Caleb over at Herscher.
Mike Frey here with Todd Schwartzkopf, the head boys basketball coach at Herscher High School, and in a few short hours, the Tigers, ranked number 10 in Class 2A, will take on top-ranked Hales Franciscan in the Clifton Central Sectional. Now, Todd, some basketball observers might look at this as a David White versus Goliath matchup, but I imagine you're not looking exactly that way.
No, I would say probably preceding 4 years ago, there was a lot of people that looked at it that way, and when Herscher beat Hales 4 years ago, that kind of woke some people up. So. I've heard through the grapevine, they've been at our games, they've taped our games, so they're taking us a little more serious than they did, I think, that 4 years ago. So, Coach London, I think, probably has learned a little bit that there are some people out downstate that can play basketball too.
Now, riding a 24-game winning streak, 26-1 overall, and really one of the calling cards for your team has been your defense. It's been a great constant all year, and I heard you recently on the radio giving former coach Olafson quite a bit of credit for the way the Tigers are playing defense this year.
Well, when I first came here, for philosophy's sake, I used to force everything baseline. He forces everything away from the baseline, so I adapted to that because I was in his program. And now I'm a firm believer. In fact, I had an argument with my dad a few months ago because he's a firm believer. He was a very successful basketball coach in Indiana, that he had to force everything baseline. But I think everybody can see, you know, from our averages and what we do game to game, that what we're doing has worked, and that's all come from what Coach O has taught me. I've had some great mentors, my father and Coach O. So it's been easy for me to adapt some of the things that they have done.
I know what your approach has been here, and a number 3 will go up on the board tonight as you prepare for your pre-game talk. You've had a lot of success, but really it's a one-game season right now, and that game's tonight. Is that correct?
That's exact. Yep. And our kids are prepared. I mean, we've done everything. They know what they're up against. But the good thing about these guys is they've had goals. One was to win regional, now it's to win sectional, and then we'll go one at a time. But yeah, we'll put a number 3 up, third game of the postseason, and when we win. If we are lucky enough to beat Hales, we'll cross out the 3 and get ready for number 4.
Okay. Well, I'd like to close on a personal note. I had the pleasure of coaching Little League Baseball with Todd for 4 years, and it didn't take me very long to figure out, here's a man that cares about kids, likes kids, and what more can you ask for from an educator or a coach? So I think this community is blessed to have Todd out here in Herscher, and good luck in tonight's ball game.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike.